So, welcome everybody and to another edition of Let's Explore. Let's welcome Samar as he takes us on this beautiful journey of the mini forest that he has created. So, welcome Samar, handing over the stage to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this amazing opportunity to share some of the work which I have been doing since 2016 and 17 in Faridabad. So, so this is like as ma'am said, our mini forest work, which we took up in July 2017. So now it's going to be 3 years, and we inaugurated this our mini forest. This is our very first site which we took, and we inaugurated on 29th July. So by the end of this month, we'll be like 3 years old. And yeah, so let me continue with the slide. So this is our, the main entrance wall. Whenever you'll be, planning to come to the mini forest, the first thing which you'll see will be this wall. So as the wall says, it's a mini forest powered by the GMFR and the RWA Sector 15. So the land belongs to the RWA and a little bit help from the GMFR in terms of the gardeners and some saplings. So we are like working together with these two amazing organizations. And then this is a sort of map of our mini forest that where it lies. So here you can see it is a main road happening. I guess this picture was taken during lockdown as I see no cars now. Yeah, it is a very busy square. It's like a place where the city's whole traffic comes along. Yeah, and this green patch over here is our mini forest, and it is being surrounded by these houses and all over these houses, and then we have this busy square and the roundabout from where the traffic passes. And in 2017, when I, along with my friends in the school, like sort of came to this land to clean this up. So I was passing through this area in my school bus, and I see this land full of garbage and plastic. And I thought that I should do something. And those were the days when the Swachh Bharat mission was something very new and upcoming. So I thought that our the ministers and the leaders of our nation are shouting from the Red Fort of our country, and but I don't see anyone bothered about it. So why not let me do it, or why not us? We can do it. The kids can do that. So I thought, let's take this up. So we came to this land and we started the cleaning up. Yeah. So and also, if you see this area, you have the main road part, and so was the traffic. So we did another survey that how many cars are there, and we found that there are around 300 cars passing through this area in 1 hour. So that was very horrifying for us that you have 300 cars in passing through that area in 1 hour, and then the plastic and the garbage already there. So this was some of our thinking which we had initially. Yeah. So sorry for the technical glitch. So this is how it used to look like. We had these dumps of garbage lying around, and we had a tough job of cleaning them. And not just sending the waste like this, loading into the lorry or the tractor and sending it away. We had a plan to also segregate that. So here on the picture on the left, you can see a heap of garbage, and then on the right, you can see something in the plastic bags. And what it was that during these festivals, we used to have these community lunches or langars by the people just next to this mini forest. So even before this was a mini forest, it was like an abandoned place, which was treated as a garbage point by the people, and all sorts of waste used to end up over here. And so we thought, let's start cleaning up. So here you can see the heap, and then the other one on the right, you can see the all the waste which we used to segregate and keep it in one corner to be sent for recycling. Yeah. So this is how it was earlier. Then these are some kids, my dear friends who were on the cleaning job with me. It was in 2017 that we started this cleaning work. And then on the right, you can see our auntie. We had employed her for helping us to clean out all the waste which we had because it was so much. And from a mini forest so far, we have cleared around 4,000 kgs of garbage from the small place. You remember that it's a mini forest. And it's horrifying again that we have so much, garbage, so much pollution. And what are we doing about it? Are we just listening to it, or we just keep on asking and poking? So I thought I should do something, and that's what inspired me to create the mini forest. I thought that now the time for blaming the government and doing all that has ended, and why not take the charge in your hands? Why not do something with yourself and because of yourself? Yeah. So here you can see the picture on the left. It's after the cleaning work, me along with Shubham and Yash, two of my dearest volunteers, and along with my dear doggy, who is also an important part of our team. So here you can see the land, the picture on the left, you can see the land is now mostly clear. Yeah, you can see the land is mostly clear. And we thought that it's mostly clear, actually, it is not. Yeah, and you can see that the land is not that fertile. It still looks like quite barren. And we thought, no problem, let's start planting. So when we started digging the pits, we saw something like this. The whole land, not the garbage was not even on the not not wasn't not only on the surface but also under the surface. So we had all the construction demolition waste, we have all the plastic, we had all the polythene, we had even glass pieces, and we even have blades in there. Okay, so I always say that everything on this planet which is called waste or garbage was there at our mini forest site, not only on the surface but also under it. So we had a really, really tough job cleaning each and every bit of it. So the cleaning activity not only happened on the surface like manual picking up, but we also removed each and every stuff from a depth of around even 3 to 4 feet into the soil with the help of all these volunteers and this manual help. No machine. Yeah. So these are our lovely volunteers. So on the left is this little boy. His name is Ravi. He was just 5 years old when he joined our team. And at that time, I, along with some 10 volunteers, were cleaning this place. We used to come up on every Friday and Saturday. As on Monday, we used to have a Monday test, so Sunday used to be a studying time. And Friday and Saturday mornings or evenings, depending on the availability of volunteers, we used to have cleaning drives. And since then, we have Ravi along with us. So this little boy came to me and said, Bhaiya, I also want to help you out. I said, what do you want to do? He said, anything. I said, okay, you are free to do anything if you want to pick up waste or do anything. So this little boy surprised me by picking up this heavy, heavy tool of shovel and started helping in digging the pits out. I mean, we had to take this boy away that he doesn't hurt himself by doing so. But I know it's amazing to see that kids are coming up. And when I talk about our volunteers, almost more than half of them belong to the underprivileged society. Their parents are working around, some are barbers, some are, maids and all that. But still, these kids are coming up. And if they would have planned, they could have spent their time playing video games or doing anything else. But if they are coming up to volunteer for the green movement in our city, Faridabad, then it is something which makes me really, really happy. And then we had the cleaning happening. The Ravi helped us in digging pits, and then we started planting seedlings along with Gautam and Gur over here. So then we had initially the seedlings happening, the pits digging up, and the cleaning was mostly over by then. And now the site looks something like this. Yeah. So at this site, we have something really interesting that this is, yes, has vegetation native to both the Aravali landscapes and even the Yamuna floodplain. But also at the same time, we even have some veggies growing around. Because whenever we talk of creating a mini forest next to someone's home or next to a busy roundabout, you know, for a second, each and every person sorts of, tries to figure out that what's going to happen. And similarly, objects starts objecting. So we thought that why not grow vegetables and distribute it among our neighbors? These people living next to the mini forest. So the trees uh, are growing up very nicely, and so are these vegetables. And the amazing thing about that is that our production is really high of these vegetables. And the reason for that is we have a lot of insects over here. So they help in the pollination process, and the production, the amount of food or the amount of vegetables that we get, the produce we get is much, much larger than as compared to the other areas. You can see some herbs happening and some brinjal in this picture, and all that is growing along with our trees and shrubs. So this is again our team climbing on a tree, and at that time we were hanging these pots for, it was the summertime of 2018, and we were hanging these pots for birds to drink water. So it was done all across the city, and we kids were all hanging these bars. So one used to climb up on the tree and the other one used to give it from below. So our team just took up that project as well to provide water bowls for all the animals around. And then when we have the saplings at the mini forest, it's very obvious that you need to water them. Yeah, even though many of them are natives and they require much less care, but still you need some water to water your plants to ensure their survival. So it was a tough job to do that, because when I talked about the municipal water supply, we were actually at the end of the pipeline from where the water used to come. So it was very less water, hardly used to come for half an hour a day. So we had to drag this water in this push cart. This is our lovely volunteer Vicky, dragging this water cart full of buckets where we used to water these saplings after some regular intervals. And this was the story somewhere around 2017 and 18. So we thought that we need to do something with our water as well, because water is a precious resource and we are losing it. So we thought, why not create a wetland at this place? Why not create a small pond over here? So we started with the digging of our wetland. So you can see this wetland has a small island with a special plant planted with a very, strong purpose. And then we have really nice slopes on the side. So these slopes now support aquatic vegetation, and this island in the middle helps us to purify water. And the best thing about this wetland is that it is not cemented, or it is not 100% cemented. Only this side here is cemented now, because this is the way for the tractors, for the municipal tractors and even our tractor when they come with the saplings and the manure and all that. So we had to cement this, but from all the other side it's not cemented, and we have used natural clays to help and seal the soil pores over here to store the water. And this is how it looks now. So the wetland is completely full of water now, and we have these aquatic grasses and aquatic plants and lilies along with the vegetation. So the vegetation here is like free floating, also rooted vegetation also, and submerged as well. So the plants here, you can see the grasses over here and the plant similar to the banana leaf. So these grasses and this plant similar to banana leaf is called canna, and the reason we have them over here is that they help us to keep the water clean. So when the water passes through their roots, as they are planted in a sort of island, it helps in keeping the water clean. And just if you see the area around this wetland, you can see the dense vegetation, picking up. So we have those vegetation coming up, and then that's all full of butterflies and birds now. Yeah, so the water is still there, and you must be wondering that where do we get the water now? And the answer for that is through this. So in a city, after rain, this is a very common sight that our lanes are usually flooded with water. And then when we have the water there, all sorts of problems keep on coming. People start doing splashing. We have the mosquitoes, breeding over there, and then eventually the water gets polluted and is of no use. So with the help of our motor, we pump all this water from here into a wetland where this water is made available to a lot of creatures. Like the water stays there and also recharges up. So we did a rough calculation that how much water is being recharged by our little wetland which we kids created. And the answer for that again is like 10,000 liters of water in one season is the amount of water which this wetland recharges. And not just that, that this wetland is also home to a lot of fish. And when we have fish, we have all sorts of egrets, herons, and kingfishers coming here to eat them. And so are the dragonflies. So we have some amazing creatures like dragonflies. Wait, I'll just show that of those dragonflies. So this is the motor pumping water from the lane into a wetland. And this is how the plantation was initially carried out. So our volunteer, so this is again Vicky, he loves to swim. So we asked him if he would mind, if he won't mind jumping into the wetland to plant this grass. So this is called the taifa grass, which we have planted at a wetland, and it again helps us to purify water and also gives some home for you know, the animals which love water, like the dragonfly. So these amazing creatures are the dragonflies and the damselflies. So these creatures are very important for humans. Why? Because they help in keeping the mosquito population, in control. So while I was showing this slide of wetland, you must be wondering that, if there's water, there can be mosquitoes. It's like a breeding place for mosquitoes, but that's not the case. Because I recently got to know that these dragonflies are natural predators for mosquitoes. And the reason why we see the cases of malaria and dengue increasing, every year in our city is not that the our municipal corporation is not fogging or doing that much enough, and the reason that all this is happening is because we are losing our frogs and dragonflies and damselflies. If we bring back and restore that balance which was earlier maintained with the help of these dragonflies and frogs, our mosquitoes will be under control. And the amazing thing about these dragonflies is that a research says that an adult dragonfly can eat up to 200 mosquitoes in one day. And we easily have around 20 to 25 dragonflies as of today hovering around the whole place in the mini forest. So you can do a rough calculation and calculate that how much amount of mosquitoes are being eaten by a dragonfly. And we all know about the life cycle of a butterfly. So are these dragonflies. Dragonflies lay their eggs in water, and their larvae also feed on mosquito larvae. So they help in keeping the mosquito population control, not only the adult mosquitoes, but also the larvae. So even before a mosquito is big enough to suck our blood, it gets eaten away by these dragonfly nymphs and larvae. And at the mini forest, again, we have a lot of butterflies now. So when we had started at our mini forest, we had zero butterflies. We did counts for quite some time, like 6 to 8 months here and there, but we were unable to see even a single butterfly. But now it's been around 3 years, and we have now around 25 species of butterflies over there, not just as visitors, but also they're breeding over here. They're laying their eggs, and you can see a nice cute pupa over here of a butterfly, and the butterfly gradually emerged from it and flew away in the air. And all this has happened at the mini park. And it's so amazing for us to see that as kids, what we had seen was a dump site, completely ignored by the people. But when we had adopted this side, nothing much was there. But on work, when we started a little bit of working, we see these creatures coming back. And I hope that this is one of the solutions we can help our city's biodiversity. Like we were unable to get a big land to do this work, but we at least got a small piece of land, and now we are establishing networks of these mini forests and this ecozone all across the city. So the mini forest is not now alone. We are working on a few more sites in Faridabad, in and around Faridabad, where we are setting up networks of these areas, small patches, which help this biodiversity to grow. And so these are some more butterflies at our mini forest, and a lot of them breed here, and a lot of them are just nectaring over here. So at the mini forest, we were very particular about our vegetation. So this plant you can see with these yellow flowers is called Barlaria or Vajradanti. Yeah, this tree with some nice cute berries you see here is there. And then this tree over here is called cam. So at the mini forest when we had started, the number of species of plants was around 5. And recently we did another survey that how many that do a nice account and make a list of the flora of the mini forest. And now we have close to 116 species of plants at the mini forest. So it has risen from 5 to 116 when you talk about plants. And it's not just only about trees, you know. We also have the, you can see next to this kadam tree, we have this something different. So these are grasses. So we have around 8 species of grasses over here at the mini forest, along with many species of trees, herbs, shrubs, and climbers. So the plants here have been planted and arranged in such a manner that they form ecological communities. Yeah, so this is something which we can talk about a little later. That the way they work and they function is in a form of a single biological community. So that's how it works. So these are some birds at the mini forest, and you all must be knowing all their names. And this is called a red bottle lapwing, and this is one of my favorite birds. And the reason for that is that from last 3 years, she is coming and nesting here at a mini forest. So this year again we have chicks of red bottle lapwings. Then we have grassland birds coming back, these Ashiparinias. Then we even have birds like shikra, and even we have a nesting of black kite just at our mini forest. And when we see these birds quite higher in the food chain, these birds eat other birds, and the birds usually eat grain and all. So you have the whole food chain, all the trophic levels we get to see at this small site. And when we see these apex predators, the predator family, the animals which eat other animals, it means that you have all the other creatures lower the food chain at your place. And this little Chotu Golumolu bird over here is a Hume's leaf warbler, as you all might be knowing that it's a winter visitor. And we were all really surprised to see even these really sweet and cute birds coming back to a mini forest. And again, when we had started, we were standing on around 6 species of birds. But now our recent survey suggests that we have around 37 species of birds. It has risen from 6 to 37 in 3 years. The butterflies have risen from 0 in 2017 to now 25, and the plants have risen from again from 5 to 5 or 6, now 116 species. So some more birds we have the parakeets coming, the barbets, the Indian white eyes, and the sparrows coming into this place and nesting. So the nesting of sparrows has been now can be now seen here. We even have nesting by the doves happening. The laughing dove we have nesting over here, and along with that we have Indian robins and even a little mongoose who's living here with his family. So this is a slide where I get to show you how the the sort of food chain works at a mini forest. So you can see these are eggs of a insect called lacewing fly. So these are the eggs, and similarly from this, the metamorphosis happens, and after various life stages, we have the lacewing fly insect out. And then this lacewing fly is eaten by this oriental garden lizard, and then this oriental garden lizard is again eaten by this kingfisher. So the mini forest kingfisher are not just eat fish; they also love to eat oriental garden lizards, and that is something really amazing which I got to observe over. And you see all these pics have been taken. I have picked all these pics from a mini forest only, and when we see the ecosystem is in place, we have the insects, then we have some creatures to control these insects, and then we have even more creatures to control those creatures. So you have the whole food chain and the ecosystem slowly coming back on track. So we also have a nice
Samarth, we can't hear you. I think Samarth has dropped off. Let's just wait for him to join the talk again. We just, Samarth is back with us. I'm just updating his presentation for us to view. Samarth, you're the host now. You can share your screen. Samath, you are the host. You can share your screen. Sorry, everyone. Samarth is facing some technical problem. We're just getting it sorted. Just bear with us, please.
Yes, so now can you see me and see the presentation?
Yes, Samarth, we can all see the presentation and we can hear you.
Oh, lovely. So thank you so much, Jannat ma'am, for helping out. And sorry everyone for the technical glitch which happened. And so coming back, so this is our walkway which we have at the mini forest. And what we have done is that we have repurposed construction and demolition waste equal to the weight of 33 Asiatic elements. So what we have done is that we have this Malba sort of thing coming here at the site, and we have sort of broken down into a number of pieces, and then we have nicely spread it all across. And then onto it, we have layered it with a number of layers of sand, and with time they have compacted, and this walkway is now extremely amazing to walk on. And the reason for and what it helps us is that it helps us to absorb the water. So in all this rainy season, what happens is that usually all these cemented things displace the water here and there. But this walkway helps us to store and absorb the water. And another amazing thing which has happened here is that the butterflies love to come on this track to take and absorb minerals. So they try doing mud puddling on our walkway. It has become a blessing for the butterflies at the mini forest. And then also the doctors have also recommended this kind of walkway as this is soft. If you walk or jog on the concrete, it has some effect on your knees. But when we have this sort of walkway, which is soft and has rather sand, it helps you to, it helps as a shock absorber, and also is also easy to walk at the same time. So this was some of our thought, which is now, become very interesting. So these are some kids from Delhi Public School, Faridabad, which keep on coming regularly thanks to their amazing teacher and principal to learn about the ecology of this place. So this was last year when we had a wetland just developing. You can see there are plants, small small plants around. And then at that time you can see me somewhere over here explaining them about the ecosystems, about the aquatic ecosystem especially, and the plants which surround. And again, if you just reflect back, that if you look back again, that it when I started my presentation, it was all about garbage, and now the same site is home to a lot of species of plants, a lot of animals like birds. We have even a mongoose now. We have reptiles like Oriental garden lizard. We have frogs. We even have fireflies at the mini forest, and a lot of butterflies. And that the same site which was earlier an ISO is now an educational place for the students of our city. So see how it makes us so happy, and it has all been done by kids whose age group was from like 5 to 16 at that time. So the I was also the biggest one in the group was 16 at that time. We didn't have anyone, but now eventually the team has grown up. We have a lot of uncles and aunties as well in our team who help us a lot in uh, in making up more of these mini forests and these eco places. So we also have now a nursery at the mini forest where we are, as I said earlier, that now mini forest is not just the only place in Faridabad where we are working, and we have taken up more places. One of them is Narayan Vatika, coming up very nicely. It is not that as polluted as mini forest, but again we have the charge in our hand. The kids have taken over the Faridabad's green cover, you can say that we have all our saplings being grown in our nursery, and then we keep on planting them wherever we find suitable place and a place to stay for them as well, and where they can get care. So at the mini forest, it is a model which is completely inclusive. So we also have given employment to some people, and it has been possible because of amazing people who help us out with all our activities. Like we have the RWA, we have the GMFER, and we have amazing people who donate monthly to us and to help us restore more and more places. So these are all local people from the surrounding areas, and if I would not have employed them, they would have been the same people who would have found themselves indulged in some of the other activity which might be wrong. But the mini forest gives them livelihood. And it's like a give and take relationship that we have a bigger site now, a big sites coming up. So along with with us, our kids, these people, our staff helps us out a lot. So it increases the strength of our team and it helps to keep our more and more mini forests coming up. And here you can see our crew member Ritesh is holding something in his hand. So this is a weed actually called the Parthenium or the Congress grass. So it is dispersed by the wind. It is invasive in nature, and it is now coming up all over the city. And Talit has also entered our mini forest and our other little sites which we have, and so they help us out in eradicating all these weeds from these places. And as I said, that it is an inclusive model which we have brought up. That this mini forest will not only help us in cleaning the air, cleaning the water, or you can say providing recharge zone for water, but also livelihood to people. And also, it has the residents to get rid of mosquitoes and the waterlogging in their areas during rainy season. So that's why it's like a win-win situation that you have the biodiversity and the urban wildlife getting a nice place the way they want, not a manicured and beautiful lawn sort of thing, but a little wild place which helps them also and the people around also. So that's where the conflict ends. That if we have these places next to these roundabouts or in these residential areas, even the people will become aware that back in 2017 I was the most you can say the mad guy in the city who thought of creating a forest. But now we have more and more people visiting the mini forest, and they are asking that Samak, we have this place near our home. Why don't you create a forest there also? So that's the power of change which has happened, even though it has taken some time, but it has happened. So this is a message for you all, dear cuckoos, is that we all can bring a change. It's just that we have to start. I was in my class 10th, 11th, and 12th when I did most of this work. So these are all these crucial years. And I have been able to manage my studies as well. When I passed my class 12th, I also cleared the NEET exam, the medical entrance exam. But I chose that no, I'm not going to become a doctor. I want to do something for environment. So I had completely dropped the idea of the medical exam when of taking admission into a medical college and took up environmental sciences as my course. And now I'm enjoying my best for learning about all these fields in the environment and also working a bit with the help of dear volunteers, big and small, to bring a change in my city, Faridabad. And the great thing about Faridabad is that we have a lot of space over here. in places like Delhi, you have to actually look for space and have a lot of issues. But here in Faridabad, things are little easy for us, and we have a nice sort of tuning in with the administration as well. So they also understand now that how important it is. And now I'm slowly, convincing them to plant only native saplings in the whole city. So I have been able to convince them to some point, but yes, that will be needing little more effort. And I'm sure that if we see more and more mini forests coming up, all being done by the students, and then the people who wish to have these kids, then I'm sure nothing is impossible. And I feel that the biodiversity parks which we have in Gurgaon, in Delhi, and all these places are one of the solutions to save our cities and save ourselves. Along with the pristine forest, we also need to have these urban jungles in and around our place. So coming back to the mini forest, you must be wondering that how do we keep the site secure? Because Faridabad is again famous for the crime and the stuff which keeps on happening, the crime and all that. So we have a lot of antisocial elements in the society. And again, we have a lot of cows and goats and donkeys roaming around the mini forest. So what do we do? So we took help of these stray dogs. So again, another point. So the people around the mini forest have another benefit that they get to sort of get away with these stray dogs. So what we have done is we have adopted these stray dogs around our mini forest, and we have sort of trained them in a particular way that they keep the site secure. And if you have anyone, trespassing, jumping over the gate or the fence, entering into the forest, or some cow coming in, they'll bark and shoo him away. And that's that's another solution. We don't need a guard over here. These amazing doggos take care of this place, and in turn, we also take care of these amazing doggies. And another surprising thing about them, our doggies, is that they work in shifts. I was surprised to see that. So in the morning, you will see our happiness, this dog, on the duty, and then in the evening you will see this one on the duty. So they keep on changing shifts, one of the other, but always you will see one of the dogs around looking after the site. So we have the residents also happy कि the मच्छर का सारा काम खत्म हो गया, the water is now gone, the greenery is there, it looks beautiful also, and the street dogs also have now got come home over here. So that's why I say that it's an inclusive model which not only helps the urban biodiversity, the wildlife, but also the people and other aspects we must not be even thinking about. Like even if you talk about Malis or the gardeners and the crew members we have, they all come from really poor background. But now that they have got a livelihood in these growing trees and taking care of the nursery, then it has again a plus point for them as well. So thank you so much for listening to me so patiently. I once again apologize for all these technical glitches. And if you have any queries, any suggestions, so please feel free to reach out to me via email. And I once again thank Cuckoo Club, the Delhi Bird Foundation, and dear Jannat ma'am for giving me this opportunity. And thank you so much.
Okay. I think this was really exciting to hear, you know, the story of the making of the mini forest. I'm sure many of you, I'll start the video. So I'm sure many of you have questions which you may like to ask Samarth.
Jannat ma'am, you are on mute.
Yeah, any questions that we have? So anybody inspired to create a mini forest? I think Vibhav's here, if I'm not wrong. Vibhav, are you here? Yeah, Vibhav is here. And I think some similar efforts being done by Vibhav. Vibhav, you want to talk 2 minutes about what you're doing in Vasant Kunj? Okay, I probably will have to let him. Okay, no response coming from there. Okay, we have a question from Ananya. She's asking, what are the native shrubs and trees of the Aravalli region which you have planted? So if you could, little bit, Samar, tell us about the sort of vegetation you have done.
Yes. So at the mini forest, the native species of we have is the Dicrostachys cinerea, also known as the Goya khair. We have some babool happening. We have some khair, Acacia catachu, growing over there, and we even have the jungli karonda growing there. We even have the bushweed, also known as anti in Hindi, growing there, and we even have heens, Capparis liparia and Capparis decidua, also growing very nicely at the mini. And along with that, we have the Adusa, the Barlaria, also doing very good at the mini forest. And along with that, we have a lot of species of trees as well, from Barna to Haldu to Bahera. So we have a lot of them. So if you may like, you can just reach out to me via email. I'll send you the list of our saplings and you can go through it very nice. We have around 116 species of plants. So I would love to share the list of flora with you.
Awesome, awesome. So there's a question we have from Krish. So Samar, they're addressing you as sir, your
Oh my
senior
God.
now. Yeah. So sir, there are locust attacks over some northern states in India. So what you have thought, or how will you counter this problem if you were to face it? Okay.
Yes, really nice question. So actually, we were lucky this time that locust had entered Faridabad, but they did not manage to come towards this side where our mini forest is actually situated. But even when they come, I would avoid use of any pesticide or insecticide, because we must not forget that along with locusts we have these butterflies, these dragonflies, these damselflies, and these creatures coming back after our really hard work. So if we use any pesticide or insecticide now, they all will be gone with no fault of theirs. So the best thing which I would do is probably start beating plates and drums to shoo them away. That's the best we can do. But
Yeah.
speaking, very frankly, that locust is a problem which needs to be dealt very seriously. From the source. We have the climate change happening. We have more intense and frequent rains, and even in those areas where rains were not used to happen in that excess, and untimely rains, which have resulted into this problem of locusts. Yeah, so locusts are a problem which need to be dealt really, really seriously. But I would definitely discourage the use of pesticide and insecticides, at least in these areas where these biodiversity still exists. If they are again in towards the outskirts where nothing much is around, we may think of doing that to avoid the damage. But certainly, let's look for options.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this is a much larger thing, but I love the suggestion that you have made, that you can do some simple things like just making noise to scare the locusts away and see whatever little saving you can do. So many questions coming for you, Samar. Anandya is asking, are there any endangered plants? Uh, I'm assuming this is in reference to the mini forest. So have you done anything, Samat, to put some plants which are endangered to do conservation for them in the
So
forest?
yeah, so actually these endangered, we are trying to grow these endangered plants. We started last year actually. So we do have some seedlings, but they are not yet planted. So we do have some. So let's see how it goes about. We are trying our best. So now the mini forest is actually full. We have all the plants in there. So we will be planting these saplings. It needs to be native, you know. And if that's a native endangered plant, definitely we are on it. And it will be planted on some other site, maybe Narayan Vatika, which is in making. And we even have a few more sites here and there in Faridabad. So we are definitely on it. I have that on my mind. I have a few seeds which we have tried to growing this year again, and let's see how it goes. But we are definitely on it. Yeah, that's something which I am not going to leave in any way. I'm definitely taking that up. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay, another question we have. Again, so sir, will you opt for other relevant option rather than using pesticides? I think you've answered that. Um, okay, I think that's it. We have Ananya also who is from Faridabad. So it will be great, if you could join hands and connect. Um, Perfect. Any more questions before we wrap up? Okay. I'm assuming silence means a no. Okay, so just something I wanted to share with everybody. Tomorrow morning, we have a quiz which is being organized and co-hosted with Early Bird. It's again tomorrow morning, same time, which is 11 a.m. We are calling this quiz that "Are you a wise quacker?" So it's part two of something we did some time back. So all of you are invited to register for the quiz and join us. And also tomorrow evening we have a talk by Bitu Segal. So it will be great to have you all join us for that talk again. I'll send details to you. It will be lovely to have you. So with this, I think we conclude. Thank you so very much, Samarth. It was absolutely inspiring, motivating me as an adult to, follow your footsteps and take it from there. So thank you, Samarth. Thank you to all the cuckoos who have joined us. We will have another talk next weekend, so do join us then. Thank you. Bye bye.